All right, so the Baltimore Ravens, trend I noticed this year. If you go week by week, who had like the best game of the week? And then what happened to them the following week? Remember I was talking about that smoke theory. So week 1, it was the Niners. They beat the Steelers 30-7. I was like, Niners. The next week, they had that really tight game to the Rams. I don't think they covered, but it was like that back and forth game. And I was like, oh my God, is my T's in trouble? Week 2, Cowboys Jets 30-10. The next week, you lose to the Cards.
Oh.
Week 3, Dolphins 70. Broncos 20. Oh, Dolphins. Oh my God, this offense. Who's going to stop it? Next week, they lose to the Bills by 28. Week 4, the Bills. Bills 48, Dolphins 20. Oh my God, the Bills. Best offense in the league. They lose to the Jaguars the next week. Week 5, Niners 42, Cowboys 10. Holy shit, is this the best team in the league? Next week, they lose to Cleveland. Week 6, I had to struggle a little to find a week 16, but I think it was Lions 20, Bucks 6. Because they were the ones where coming out of week 6, people were like, the Lions, that's a legitimate contender. Or they're the best. Stephen A. had them number 1 on his first take NFL rankings. What happens? They lose to the Ravens 38-6. And now this week, it's Ravens time. The Ravens are going to be the story this week. Lamar Jackson, is he the MVP? Is this the best team in the AFC? Have they unleashed him offensively? All these stats. They're at Arizona next week.
They're going to lose to the Cardinals?
They're at Arizona next week.
I don't care.
Listen,
that's a teaser. That's a
guy.
teaser for me. Don't care.
All right. Well, I've gotten killed on teasers.
No, but listen, I think we're all over this though. We're pretty smart about this, right? We like the Browns over the Niners, and then Deshaun Watson screwed up our thinking because he went out like on Tuesday and like, all right, well, the last backup was bad for the Browns, but we're usually on this. I'll say this. I think this was, as far as thorough ass kickings from a good team to another good team, I think this is one of 2 games. Ravens beating the Lions, and the other one I really think was the Bills beating up on the Dolphins. Now you could say the same about the Eagles today, but they had a pick 6, and they just like on both sides of the ball dominating. You can maybe even throw the Niners Steelers in there now that the Steelers are quote unquote good, but those are 2 of the 3 biggest, and it makes me think like definitely don't want to face this Ravens team in January right now. Right now, I'm saying that.
Well, they had 503 yards against Detroit.
Yeah.
The game felt over when it was 14-0. It just felt like, oh, this is the Ravens, awesome Ravens game we've kind of been waiting for. Dan Graziano said, he wrote after the game that Lamar had 246 passing yards when under duress on Sunday. It is the most yards under duress by any quarterback in any game since 2009 when ESPN began tracking quarterback pressures. In the first 6 games of the season, Jackson had 235 yards total, under duress total.
I think he could sue also if you're under duress and still completing passes.
The reason I'm bringing that up is because watching it, I thought the Lions were like getting pressure on him, and it wasn't like they were just like killing them. Like the Lions were actually trying to do shit. They couldn't really block for Goff, which I was surprised by. But yeah, I thought Baltimore, they look great. The Zay Flowers thing really seems like it's important. And they're using more play action, and it just like the offense just seems more fluid than it did. All the fixes that they did over the years.
6 pass catchers over 30 yards. They had 146 yards rushing. Lamar went for 357, just perfect, like a 155 rating, and gave up 0 sacks from this Detroit, defense and pass rush that just terrorized other teams. And you're right, Goff could not get going at all.
He couldn't. He was 18-1 to win MVP, Goff, today. And I think that ship has sailed. Lamar is 7-1 on FanDuel right now. I think those are the best value odds because Hurts is up to 5-1. But if you've actually watched the season, I think, Mahomes is the favorite at plus 260, and he finally got going today with Kelsey, which we'll talk about in a second. 2 is plus 420. It feels like it's narrowing a little bit now. I still like Lawrence as like a dark horse at 20-1, just in case the Jags, especially with their schedule, if they just kind of rip off some wins.
Yeah, so Lawrence has opposite of what Lamar Jackson has probably in front of him, right? Lamar Jackson probably has a bunch of cold weather games.
He
Trevor
does.
Lawrence has some indoor games in division. So Lamar's going to he could be great and have like 100, 160 yards passing, in some of these games coming up.
Yeah, he has this kind of sneaky Arizona game that I'm just saying now. I don't like the smell of it. Because after that, they have 3 straight home games: Seattle, Cleveland, Cincinnati, all at home, and then they go to LA to play the Chargers, and they have a bye week. So this Arizona thing is like, come on, we'll go to Arizona, we'll take care of business. Then we got 3 at home, and I really think this was part of the problem with Cleveland today. I think Cleveland thought they just had to go in and we'll freaking kill Minshew and it'll be fine, and they were asleep from the get-go. The only guy who was awake on their entire team was Myles Garrett. But with the Ravens, so if you go wins by division, remember we were talking before the year in our preview, and I was like, could we get 4 playoff teams from the AFC North? I think we had that conversation.
Yeah.
I think we each said there would be 3.
Yeah, the Bengals were off. They're off today, and they lost the half game to everybody.
They lost ground. Yeah. Everybody has the Bengals are 3-3. Everyone else has a winning record. AFC North has 16 wins so far, which is the most. Your division has 15. Do you want to guess what division has the least amount of wins?
Are you going to surprise me and say no? It can't be the AFC West. It's the NFC South. I don't know.
It's your least favorite division, the NFC South, with 10 wins total.
Yeah.
NFC North though with 11, and I gotta say, man, after watching that Packers-Broncos game and losing a little money on it today, NFC North is. Yeah, I thought Denver and the Pats. One of my betting strategies this week was Denver and the Pats are now in a death race for the first pick. Both of them won, and both of them had a chance to lose down the stretch, and instead zagged the other way and went for it. But yeah, the AFC North clearly, I think, the best top to bottom division.